Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ayel. I discuss everything lifestyle, beauty, fashion, all things black girl magic, and in some cases, navigating life as an international student in the US. I made an original H1B renewal or getting your H1B visa in Nigeria video a couple years ago, and I figured it was time to make an updated one since I just renewed my visa in Nigeria a couple months ago. So I'm going to walk you through the process, also answer some FAQs, some frequently asked questions I get from people reaching out to me from my first video, and feel free to leave any questions or comments below or email me and I'll be more than happy to help you. So the process hasn't changed. I'll give you a quick rundown. You can go to my first video for more in-depth details. You fill out your DS-160, you submit that DS-160, and then you go to the CAC, the US Travel Docs website, to schedule your appointment. For that, you need your visa receipt. And typically, you can either go to the bank they use in Nigeria is GTB Bank. You go to the bank by yourself or send somebody. All they need is your passport, the page of your passport, and the type of visa you're applying for. You pay for the visa at the branch, or you can do this online. You don't have to be the person that does this. I've gotten questions as to, can my family member do this for me? Absolutely. Your friend, anyone in Nigeria or anyone with a GTB online account can make payment for your visa. So once you have your visa receipt, you schedule an appointment in the US Travel Docs websites for Nigeria specifically. All I'm going to be saying is for Abuja, but I think it transfers to Lagos. And I think they recently changed the appointment system where you have to request to schedule an appointment, and then they send you an approval in your email, and then allow you go in and log in to actually schedule an appointment. So I decided not to do Dropbox because I was going to be in Nigeria for a month, which is a long time when you think about it. But when I read the Dropbox guidelines, they were like, they can hold your passport for up to 2 months, 3 months, and I was like, no. I want my passport within 3 to 5 days, business days. So I actually showed up for an interview. My passport came out within 3 days, literally. I went on Monday and I got my passport on Thursday, was ready for pickup on Wednesday. So when you get to the visa appointment, I got there like 15 minutes before my time slot. There's typically a long line in Abuja. I assume it's the same for Lagos. What do you need? You need one passport photo. So you need your actual passport photo, I guess that's what's called, in the 6x6 dimensions for US visa. You need your receipt and you need your DS-160 confirmation, as well as your appointment letter. When you get there, they tell you how to sort the documents. I don't remember exactly, but I think they said they needed one passport photo, your receipt, and the DS-160 confirmation. They didn't need my appointment letter, but the security in front checked my appointment letter to make sure I had an appointment on that day. So that's how that happened. Once they check all your documents, make sure everything's fine, you sort of go in to the embassy and wait for your interview time. So first, if you haven't done your biometrics before, in I think the last 5 years, you do your biometrics in one window and you get sent to the interview in the next window. So I'm going to tell you what my questions were. And also, I guess if you're also a student, I'm going to also tell you some of the questions I heard for students as well. They were very basic questions that people either study in the US should know or people work in the US should know. So my first question was, have I been to the US? Answer was obviously yes. I've been living in the US 10 plus years. Did I use OPT, and which company did I use OPT for? So OPT generally is after CPT, you get after CPT, when you graduate, you get OPT. And typically, depending on the program you're on, happy to answer more questions on this, you can get 12 to 36 months of OPT. So I had OPT and I used OPT. They asked me when I got my H1B, who filed for my H1B, and if I go into the office, and there was a random question of if I ever changed my name, which was a no. Oh, I think that was because sometimes I don't put my middle name. Sometimes I put my middle name when I fill out an application. So I just told them no. I just sometimes opt in, opt out of using my middle name. That's it. So that was literally the entire interview process. Took less than 5 minutes. Piece of document I forgot that you absolutely need is your approval notice from your H1B. So once you get approved for the H1B, you get an approval notice. I don't remember what it's called. I think your I-797. I'll put the thing on the screen. Definitely need that. The immigration officer asked me for that document just to show confirmation that I'm approved for H1B. And then just to be safe, additional documents I took with me included a letter from my employer showing I was employed, showing that I needed the visa to work. I also took like all my I-20s because I also study in the US. So all the I-20s and everything I'd ever been approved for, just in case they needed that documentation. I tend to err on the side of take as much documentation as you think you may need, even if it's not listed as a requirement. So if they ask for something, just by any chance you have it. So that's one key thing I forgot to say as well. And then for the students, some of the questions I heard: why this program? Do you have family in the US? Have you ever been outside Nigeria? What would you do after you finish studying for a specific program, and how would you fund your education, essentially? So very, very basic questions typically people answer. One major question I get from my first video was, why do I decide to go to Nigeria versus going to Canada, London, Mexico, all of these places? I've had friends that have gone to all of these places and it has gone well, but there are onesies, twosies where they've gone, they needed further like security checks, and they've had to end up going to their country of origin. So just to avoid all of that, I go straight to my country of origin, Nigeria, because I don't want to go to like Canada, for example, expect I'm going to be there for less than a week, end up having like a security check, and then have to fly from Canada to Nigeria because I can't go back to the US without a visa, essentially. So just to avoid that hassle, I decide to go to Nigeria every time I need to renew my visa, because it will just be that one time I decide, oh, I'm going to renew my visa in Canada suddenly, but God forbid. So that's why I don't go to Canada or to the UK or to Mexico, but people that I know have done this successfully. So I see no issues with it, unless hopefully that doesn't happen to you. You get pulled for additional security checks, and in that case, you have to go back to your country of origin. So yeah, those were all my points for my interview and my process. Typically, once you get the visa is 2 years validity period versus I don't know how long they're giving for F1 now, but I know for B1, B2 they're given 5 years, but H1B remains a 2-year visa, and you renew it every 2 years essentially. When it was ready, I picked it up at DHL, and that was about it. Let me know if you have any questions that you want me to answer on the process. If I missed anything, if you're confused by anything, more than happy, leave a comment or email me. But hope this was super helpful to you. Good luck with your visa and your immigration to the US or in the US, and I will talk to you guys next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. All right, love and light.